Autobots, transform!
What is up, my Transformers family? Welcome back to George Reviews. Today on George Reviews, we'll be taking a look at the Constructicons from the Studio Series that we need to form Devastator. There's two more members of the team. We have Hook and Long Haul represented on the packaging by Artwork. You got the Battle of Autobot City going off. You got a rocket coming in, explosions. This is the cannon that Devastator later crushed. I believe this is a silhouette or outline of Megatron telling the Constructicons to merge for the kill. It says 3 out of 5 right here, 17 steps, I guess, for Hook, and 19 steps for Long Haul. We get Transformers down here, Studio Series, Transformers the movie, Constructicon Hook, Constructicon Long Haul, Hasbro. Side panel, we have them in vehicle mode, Autobot symbol right there. Back of the box, we actually get a scene from Transformers the movie of Devastator throwing sludge. Right here, you would think it was a buyout, but no, it says Long Haul and Hook combine with other Constructicons to form Devastator. And that is it. Then we get the product shot. These guys look great, but I believe this is a render. I hope they look nearly this good. Inside the box, we see the various modes. They come in, robot, vehicle. In the side panel, we get Devastator. Ha, 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 ha. And we're going to get Devastator open. Let's do it real quick. See what we got inside. There's a slot. And there we go. All the parts and pieces. We get 2 different sets of instructions. Is this for each guy or what? This is the combiner sheet for Devastator. And I believe this is just for Hook. Yep, and Long Haul right here. Long Haul and Hook. How to transform these guys. So I guess you had to buy them all anyway and eventually get the combination instruction booklet, sheet, fold out leaflet or whatever, but there we go. Alright, what's inside the package? Alright, in here we get a handgun. I believe that is Hook's, definitely. Get a forearm and a fist. Should have 2. Forearm and a fist. Guess Long Haul gun is a 2-parter. Why that is, I don't know. And there we go. We get a piece of the shield to Devastator. I'm going to assemble this right now and get it out of the way. Nice Decepticon logo right there in the center. For Hook. And now for the extra combiner part that they added to boost this up to Commander class. For whatever reason. Yeah, this set is basically a Commander class set. I don't know what the designation on the side of the box was. This thing is heavy. Alright, let's get started with the toys, shall we? We're going to start with Hook and we're going to take a look. He is a very convincing crane. Looks pretty good. And also, it's cartoon simplistic at the same time. He has the metal graded panels right here, so you don't slip when you're walking across the surface. That is nice. The wheels are black and the rims are painted silver. We have no paint on the tail lights. That would have been so cool. The paint we do get is on the windows, and I really wish it was made out of a translucent plastic. It would have made it really stand out and made this set feel like it's more worth the 90. I don't know if we're there yet. I doubt if we get to like this being a Commander class set thing, but anyway, then they painted this part right here, which is like the caution symbol on the vintage toy, as a sticker, and they painted it and made it look like a window. Like that is just so odd to me. We get the front headlights painted. At least they did that. Front windows painted. Then we get a purple crane piece. This is as far as it extends. It should extend the length of the shaft. Like why? I think it stops at this screw, maybe. But still, they should have found a way to get this out more of a play value. Speaking of play value, it will completely 360 because it's just pegged in the back. And it comes up about this high and down. And even the hook is purple. Like where is that at? I'm going to have to check the cartoon. I've been wrong before. Let's see if that's cartoon accurate. And you can see Devastator head just hanging out. Look like it could be a little bit more flush. It's like on an angle. And does the entire back piece rotate? This back piece does not rotate. They just put it in the crane like the vintage toy. Now, for whatever reason, it doesn't rotate, but it slides over. I don't know if this is for combiner mode or for robot mode, but it can come to the center of the rear. And underneath, we see his face hanging out. Why they didn't rotate, I don't know. Will it rotate? I don't know, but his face is just hanging out right there. Like, what's up? And next up, his long haul. He rolls great. Oh, his vehicle mode. He's winning this head to head in vehicle mode. Man, he looks great, nice and beefy, like 100% cartoon accurate. I don't think you can see these little paint apps on the cartoon, but therefore the Devastator mode looks pretty good. You can't add any dirt or anything like that. You can't play dump truck with this guy. He just has to look the part. Black plastic wheels with silver painted rims. He gets the same cartoon purple windows painted on him, and he gets a big, robust, nice Decepticon logo outlined in silver. Painted headlights, painted grille. Little plastic piece right here for the smokestack. Yeah, he looks good. A little bit of molded in detail for some compartments right there. Is there anything I missed? I think this is turning him over, and you can see his face hanging out too. For whatever reason, they either can't or they didn't rotate his either. Bam! And then we get this trailer piece that connects to him, that completes this set to make all this like commander class amount of plastic. And this is the waist piece. And I guess the vintage toy, you had to add the waist piece as well, so we're not going to lose any points for that. And it connects to long haul. It won't stand up on its own, I don't think. Well, you know what? You got to add the pieces. I knew I was going to regret putting those Devastator pieces together. Give me a sec. All right. I am back. You take this piece and plug it underneath right here. Then you take these, so left and a right, plug the wings into the side. This is very reminiscent of Combiner Wars. And I guess it only makes sense. And let's see if we can get this connected. I don't know if you gotta transform it a little bit, or just might be able to just, yep, I just smashed it in there. He did the monster mash. I just mashed it in. And here we go. And we are not done building this thing up. We take the Devastator forearms, plug in the fist, like so. Extend this little port from the fist and close it up. This, and this ports in. And repeat the beat. And now Long Haul can live up to that name because he's hauling it all a long way. And we take his guns and we plug it into the side of the vehicle right here for even more firepower. I don't see if hook gun plugs in. I don't know. And no. So, but here's the, wait, does it plug in over here anywhere? I didn't even check. I found it without the instruction. It is cleverly concealed. There is a peg right here. No, it is not on the box. And there's a port on the gun. And you could just put it right there so he can drive and shoot as well. And I guess he can get the crane up and before I get him out of this mode, I want to do a couple of comparisons. Break them down. I'm going to bring in my hook from my Combiner Wars to check these two out. Now, there were different versions of the Combiner Wars hook that had more paint apps and more deco. And I don't know if they tweaked the color a few times, but this is a much more richer green than this. This is very, very cartoon accurate. They didn't bother painting the rims. And again, there was a version that had the rims painted on it. This one looks better. I think it's engineered better. And the crane actually functions better despite its limitations. This just comes up. It does not extend at all. The hook does not move. Both of these guys have the Devastator head compartment hidden in the center of their vehicle mode. Now I want to bring in Takara's reissue of the cartoon accurate version of the Constructicons hook. Check these out side by side. And I get confused a lot as to what is cartoon accurate, what is toy accurate, because they got so many different versions. But the entire crane over here is green uniform, and then the hook is chromed out, and we just don't get chrome anymore. That would have been so nice to get that. The comparisons aren't complete till we bring out the cartoon model, and I am shocked to learn that the crane is actually purple in the cartoon. I should have paid attention to that. But the hook is silver, and we don't get that over here. And the tiny Autobot logo right there is also over here, but it is a little bit more centered. But what can you do? And this little slot, it's cartoon accurate. These guys are shaping up to look like the definitive version of the official releases of the Constructicons. Long hauls. Again, Combiner Wars. This is the standard United States released a Combiner Wars version, if I didn't say it earlier. Now this guy, this looks great. I love that he was beefy. I love that they bumped up the classification on this guy, and he encapsulate all the pieces that combine to the legs, which was very nice. A lot of people didn't like the way it translated into robot mode. We'll get to that, but I love what they did with this. Side view, and again, with no painted rims over here. They skimped on a lot of the paint. The front view, this is like killer. This is gorgeous. Love this. Side view, back view. Both of these guys are very nice, but I do love the more cartoon accurate green over here. Now for the Generation 1 comparison of the two. Man, the G1s were tiny. This is the cartoon accurate reissue version of Devastator from Takara. It has a brighter green to it and more paint apps that weren't present on the Generation 1 version. Now for the cartoon representation of Long Haul, and it is also very accurate. The biggest difference being that over here the smokestack is painted black on the cartoon version, and the vintage toy it is purple, and you can sort of kind of see the arms hanging out from the Generation 1 toy mode. I didn't realize they incorporated it in the cartoon, and he sort of has like the circles for his hands. And we don't get the double tires on this guy. I just peeped that out, and I don't think we got the double tires on the Combiner Wars version either. All right, let's get our guys transformed. I started with Hook. I will continue with Hook. And if you know my channel, you know me, this will in no way be the official transformation, but we are going to get it done. He's held together so well, I kind of really don't know where to pull, but turning him over, face, torso, arms, and feet. Bam. So we're going to kind of go with that. Let me see if this, okay, this unhinges a bit for us. Pull on the arms, and we are 50% done. This is it. So, okay, we're going to pull on the legs or the feet. Separate them. They should separate. Yep. And we'll lay accordion down. And this part comes out. This is 2-part to the feet. Kind of missed that. And bam. They don't lock in, I don't think. They just kind of flip under. Come over here and repeat the beat. Accordion these down. And we are like pretty much done. Oh, this is so clever. They painted this silver to kind of make it look cartoon accurate, where the legs are silver all the way down to the feet. But we don't get the cab in the front. Well, let me keep going real quick. I'm going to bring this down to secure it. I see it's on a hinge. And this is as far as it comes down. And I guess this is the part where this slides over to the center. And I think this is it. Sit down, take a look. Yeah, I think this is it. It seemed like these shoulder parts would come down just a little bit more. I might figure out something as I fiddle with it a little bit more. And the, oh, this is for the combiner piece. On the cartoon, the little cab is in the front, and they didn't do that. They didn't have it swing around one time so it could sit right there. And we'll put that cartoon accuracy to the test in 1 second. Get his gun out here, because why not? Now for Long Haul, we're going to pull on the feet, because that's pretty much what he does. And bang, again, we're done. This is like 17, 19 steps, but that's like 1 step. And his hands are right here, looks like. Well, you know what? Try to get this off of his head. Oh, wow. Wow. We got an engine block in here that I missed. There's a fan. It's painted silver. Some molded in detail. Am I getting that? It's pretty cool. I think that's where the head comes up at. Yep, there's the head. Gonna get these hands out. Okay, they just come out to the side. You untab them and pull them out to the side. Assuming this just comes down like G1 proud. Yep, and it snaps into place. So we get this accordion down there, some tabs, some ports. Close that up. These little arms out. Fist. Oh, his arms are kind of weird. They tab back in. Is this how they go? Or is this how they go? Okay, I think his arms are just stubby. Yep, he has the little stubby wubby arms, and here he goes. In the cartoon, he was drawn very slender, and his legs really can't. Oh no, he's standing up pretty straight. And here is Long Haul. I think I got that right. That was easy peasy. Get his gun out here. For whatever reason, they combined the toy accurate yellow of the gun and put a black tip on it. I don't know if it was like 2 different ways in the cartoon or whatever, but we got this, and I doubted some of the choices they made only to find out later on that it's actually accurate, so I'm not going to doubt what's going on with this. I'm just going to take it and run with it. So here are our guys side by side, and now it's time to take a closer look at Hook. Take a look at that face. It is very, very cartoon accurate. He always had a cool head, bright red glossy visor, silver paint to the face. The finish is very nice. This is the articulation we're getting out of since I am here. Full 360. He'll look down a little bit, and he can look up. No, not really looking up. No side to side. But that is that. No real deco on his chest. He's supposed to have a panel right here, painted gray. But I guess it's not here because he has a port. I guess it's a combiner piece or something. Yeah, something's going on right there. And then another teeny tiny Decepticon logo. They could have painted it all the way up to here and made it bigger. Damn, like, he just needed to be dressed up a little bit. Coming to his waist, a little bit of molded in detail. And again, I discussed the legs and how this is supposed to be silver all the way down. They should have just hit it all with silver. Or just did it all in gray. It's the back of Hook. Oh, let me finish the articulation. His arms, like, I guess they... Oh, you can pop this up in 360, so that's not really hindering that. Hook can get his arms up to the side this far in a T-pose. Has a bicep swivel. Cool. Elbow bend. It appears to be double jointed, but I'm not getting that much out because the tire's blocking it. This is what you get out of the elbow. Pretty decently molded fist. It could be better. You're not getting anything out of the gun. Just ports in, no rotation, anything like that. It goes in and out for the transformation. No, it was just hanging out in the car mode, the vehicle mode. But I guess maybe it does something later on that it needs to be in there. But it was just hanging out in the vehicle mode. And we got the gun in this hand. It's very Generation 1 toy accurate. And coming down to his waist. And, well, I guess because of the Devastator head, we don't get anything out of the waist. I don't know. There might be some way to unlock it. But it doesn't look like. That kind of sucks at this price point for the set. To the front, to the back. Splits, all these guys can do this. Studio series. Thigh swivel, complete 360. Got the knee bend right there. And we should get a rocker. Yup, it rocks from side to side. And because of transformation, it'll tilt forward. So he can get a wide stance and a little bit of posing going on. As he's committing murder and mayhem at Autobot City. Now, for Long Haul. Love the face. They brought the little board back behind the head. I don't know if that's completely cartoon accurate, but for Combiner Wars, they just made it a straight up head. But this is more reminiscent of the Generation 1 toy, even though the face was not painted silver. We get the silver helmeted head, sort of like Brawn. Singular red visor. Looks good. Full 360 out of it. And he can look up just a little bit and down just a little bit. And finish taking a look at the deco. This is what we saw in truck mode, vehicle mode, and I believe this is some stickers that was on the Generation 1 toy. And that's pretty much it, just a green glob. After that, let's finish the articulation. Bone Crusher can get the T-pose, 360 at the shoulder, elbow swivel, it's on a ball joint, nothing in that bicep, that's where it hinges together. Better molded fist than Hook, and they close up for transformation as well. And coming to his waist, for whatever reason, they've painted this part. It's like a purple piece. I don't know if it's more visible in another mode, but it was no reason to make this purple. It should have just all been green, but you can notice that it is painted because there's some bleed in it. And he does not rotate at the waist. Are you kidding me? He has the clearance for it, but I guess maybe this does something in another mode, but like no rotation. Neither one of these guys rotate at the waist. All right, splits. All Studio Series guys have maximum articulation in the waist area. No problems there. Thigh swivel completely. This knee should be kind of weird because it's... Oh, we got a nice little bend at the knee. I was not expecting that much. Oh, he can double articulate because I don't know if this is transformation or something used for Devastator, but you get all this out of it. Oh, and the thigh swivel right here that I missed, and we get some feet articulation so he can get a wider stance and he can get in combat mode as they run down Ultra Magnus and the others in Autobot City. Alright, let's kick off the comparisons with the Generation 1 hook, bring them a little bit closer, and check out the inspirations and the accuracies and the inconsistencies. And we don't get, this was a sticker on the Generation 1 toy, it still is a sticker on the Generation 1 toy, I don't know why I said it like that. But in the cartoon, he had a little bit of gray over here, and I think maybe a little bit of the red painted in that is not present. And here's the cap on the foot that they drew in the cartoon that is not over here, and it is not on the Combiner Wars version. Let's bring them in. Here's the Combiner Wars version, and you can see they tried to paint that panel right there that I spoke of. It's on this guy. Let's go all three. Got the panel over here, and they tried a little bit of the waist paint around here. This is a sticker over here, and we get none of that over here. I don't know. Bring these two hooks a little bit closer. These guys have a lot in common. They share the same collar piece, but they painted it over here. This is the exact same mold. Vents at the top of the chest that are over here, and they got the cartoon accuracy better over here for the silver legs. Speaking of cartoon accuracy, all right, Hook, let's see what you got. And you can see that the chest piece is gray. I had that right. The memory served me well. And down here, we don't get the front of the cab on the front of the leg. We don't get the cap on the front of the leg that is present on the cartoon version and the Generation 1 toy. Long haul, here's the Generation 1 version side by side. You can see they perfectly duplicated and updated the head for this guy over here to make him look more cartoon accurate. That is done well, but what's not cartoon accurate on this guy? The arms should be purple like over here, even though his hands are black. And the smokestack piece on both of these should be purple. And they didn't bother to paint the waist because I guess it wasn't painted in the cartoon, but down here, this is supposed to mimic the stickers over here. And they kind of half-assed that too. But next up, we have the infamous Combiner Wars version. Let me adjust the camera for this guy. And a lot of people hate this. I absolutely love that they made this guy nice and chunky. It kind of suited his character, how he was always complaining. But I thought this was fantastic because the Combiner pieces were included in the mold. And it suffered from it just a bit. But I'm in the minority of the people who thought this was just splendid. Let's take a look at the heads, bring them a little bit closer. And they left out the little border from the Generation 1 toy. I thought this was awesome as well, that it was just a completed head. They're almost, other than scale, the faces and head sculpt is almost identical. It looks great from the front. I love that they had the silver in here, even though that's not cartoon accurate. But it was very nice. They even tried to include like the sticker stuff right here going on. And we got the purple forearms, which is cartoon accurate. Now let's drop the cartoon comparison. And the cartoon version is very, very slender for whatever reason. But the paint deco and where they got the Decepticon logo and everything perfectly matches. You can even see the tires hanging out the back on both versions of these guys. And that is something I was not expecting. And with the gun over here, they actually went half and half. The gun in the cartoon version is all black, and over here they went with the Generation 1 toy in the rear and the cartoon in the front. And I guess the review isn't complete till we take a look at this thing, trailer part piece. And normally I don't add blast effects because it's too much of a hassle to go and get them. But luckily my son was playing with these earlier, and they are handy, and you can add a blast effect and have these things and one more. But anyway, let's take a look and see what it can do. I know I'm not in a hurry to make Devastator. I don't have the pieces. But let's see what this thing does. A lot of hinges on it. Comes loose right here. I guess it tabs down into there and maybe back down into that. I don't know. Let's take this piece off. And I guess this is this the front? Yeah, this would be his. Alright, I guess it comes down like this. Thinking. Again, this is no instructions, people. And I think this is these are the front legs like this, and this connects and this gives him waist swivel. Does this accordion anymore? Maybe hangs down like a skirt like this. And it's crazy because they could have gave us 2 legs so we can build it up slowly, but they gave us a leg and an arm, which kind of sucks. Again, he's out there in case you guys want to see it. People have already completed this guy and say paid that extra money to get it like months ahead of everybody. People have had this thing completed for like at least 6 months. You can find a video 6 months ago with the completed Constructicons. And again, I don't know how they do it and what they pay, but I'm not doing it. Alright fam, it's time for the wrap up and I'm going to give you my final thoughts. I just want to say, this is shaping out to be a very solid, very clean and sturdy, cartoon accurate combiner of Devastator. Probably the best official Devastator and Constructicons to ever be released officially, in my opinion. And Devastator and the Constructicons are my favorite combiner team. But yeah, $90 is steep for this. And it was a time where they didn't charge you for all of this. This just came with it. The companies used to eat the cost of it and you kind of felt like you got a little bonus. But now when they upscale toys, they hit you with the cost. Like if Star Wars The Black Series, Chewbacca is going to cost more than Han Solo. But when we were kids, it was the same price across the board. You knew you got more plastic out of it, but they kind of ate it. They kind of balanced it like when they gave you Yoda. You know what I mean? In the toy line. And they don't balance it here. They just hit you with all the price of all these pieces. You don't want to feel like you're buying this because this is just the add-on. You want to feel like you're buying this. So in that regard, it's not worth the 90, but I mean, I have to have it personally to build Devastator. I'm going to build this guy. And if tariffs go up and all that stuff go up, I'm going to build this guy at least. I'm not going to tell you that they're actually worth the price. And speaking of the price point that they're at, we could have got more deco. They could have painted this. The Decepticon logos on this guy on front and back could have been better. Definitely. He just needed a little bit more pizzazz. Maybe could have hit it with more silver. I don't know. And the crane could have been done better in my opinion. But he's a nice toy. He's a nice addition to the set. He just could have been better. Now, Long Haul is the better of the two. Now, Long Haul and Scrapper might be my favorite ones out of the set. Long Haul looks great, feels great. He's very solid, very sturdy, like what they did with the paint apps. He just came out better than Hook, and maybe that might be by just the character design. I don't know. So, definitely my favorite out of the two. But what do you guys think? Because that's all I have right now. I want to thank you all again for joining me for another episode of George Reviews. The reviews where every toy has a story. Boop, 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 boop. I couldn't wait for the other two. I just had to see what it looked like. Devastator is my favorite combiner. I didn't want to spoil it, but I just had to check it out. And he feels so sturdy. I can't wait to see how playable this thing is with all the pieces. And he's much better built than the Combiner Wars. Anything from Combiner Wars. Especially the Devastator.